let me read you something over here. Even before he was born, it was known that he would be someone special, a supernatural being, informed mother, and the child she was to conceive would not be a mere mortal, but would be divine. He was born miraculously, and he became an unusual, precocious young man. As an adult, he left home and went to an itinerant preaching ministry, urging his listeners to live not the material things of this world, but for what is spiritual. He gathered a number of disciples around him and became convinced that his teachings were divinely inspired, and no small part because he himself was divine. He proved it to them by doing many miracles, healing the sick, casting out demons, raising the dead, but at the end of his life he roused opposition as enemies delivered him over to the Roman authority for judgment. Still, after he left the world, he returned to meet his followers in order to convince them that he was not really dead, but lived on in the heavenly realm. Later, some of his followers wrote books about him. Okay? Sounds like the J-Boy? Guess who that is? That's Apollonius of Tyana. And he lived at the same time as the J-Boy. So how do we know that it's the J-Boy that he was talking about over there, Daniel, and not Apollonius of Tyana? Now, this can't be, if someone else can do the same things as the J-Boy, that can't be a sign of the Messiah. Okay? The sign of somebody has to be that no one else can do. Like riding in a donkey to Jerusalem, if that's a sign to make you a Messiah, any idiot can ride a donkey to Jerusalem and say he's the Messiah. So that's why it says there'll be world peace, there'll be knowledge of God throughout the world. Everyone will know God. Okay?
Signs and wonders in the name of Hashem, again and again proving the truth of his claims.
No, he didn't prove nothing. There's no proof at all that he did any miracles or anything. This is a lie.
Only one person qualifies, Yeshua. He is said to see the result of his works. This can only point to a resurrection of the servant. Since that is the case, we would expect the servant to die and be raised to life again, who in the first century, particularly from the second to the third quarter of the first century, was said to have been raised from the dead.
Okay, again, let me read it. Therefore I will divide him a portion among the great, and he shall divide the spoils with the mighty. Did that God divide the spoils? He left. He ran like a bat out of hell. We told you already, idol worshiper.
One person remains again, Yeshua. The prophetic data is airtight and is conclusive. The Messiah will come.
See, this is how they lie, and they say airtight. Now you know why he won't debate me?
The kingdom of God, which also would be his own kingdom that would last for eternity. Yet the Messiah would be cut off, but not for himself, but he would be raised from the dead and see the fruit of his labor, which initially would seem in vain, probably because Israel would not listen to him. But the bigger plan would be that God intended that the servant's labor was not just for Israel, but for all nations, and that God's salvation, that is directly linked to the work of the servant, would reach all nations. And thus,
yes, it did
God's
reach all nations with
the
blood.
entire earth. This will be culminated
With the blood
at the
spilt
end of the age,
from all
when
the
Messiah
nations.
will come down with the clouds of heaven, as foretold in Daniel 7. The final question is, did the resurrection really happen? This brings us to the historicity of the resurrection of Yeshua. This topic is being thoroughly discussed in the academic realm. There are certain accounts in the gospel narratives that are accepted by the mainstream scholarship as historically
Okay, it always just baloney. Nothing is accepted, and nobody believes in the resurrection, and the scholars do not believe in the resurrection. That's another lie. You can Google it, and you'll see millions of scholars claim that there was no resurrection. So another lie. One more point I wanted to make. Here's Daniel 7, verse 25. And he shall speak words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and shall think to change the seasons and the law, and they shall be given into his hand until a time, and times only half a time. But the judgment shall sit, and his dominion shall be taken away, and be consumed, and be destroyed until the end. Who is this talking about? These Christians, and he's bringing Daniel through. Here we see in Hebrews, verse 12. What does it say? For when the priesthood is changed, the law must be changed also. He of whom these things are said belonged to a different tribe, and no one from that tribe has ever served at the altar. So here he's going to he's changing the priesthood, and the law has to be changed. And what did Daniel say? And shall think to change the seasons and the law. They changed the law. The law is you're not allowed to eat pig. They eat pig. Okay? He changed the law. And many other things they changed. Now, it's funny, a Christian asked a Christian, why do you eat pig? When the true God says you're not allowed to eat pig, he says, well, that's only for Jews. They can't eat pig, but Gentiles are allowed to eat pig. So I told them, not case. The whole sacrificial system is only given to the Jews. Okay? And even when the temple was standing, no Gentile can come bring a sin offering. So the sin offering of your dead God for you doesn't help you because it's only for the Jews. What can you do with nutcases, idol-worshipping devils? Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next video.